Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host of the Racing for the Climate broadcast show, Nikki Shields.
We are now going to move on to the most famous race to decide the first driver's world champion. But let's take a look at who the other finalists are going to be lining up next to Lasse Sörensen. Well, there we have it. They are the drivers who are going in to the grand finale today. Now, it is one of the most famous tracks in the world. Of course, today the drivers are going to be racing at the Nordschleife. But let's get to know this track a little bit better with a track guide.
The highlight of our championship will be the super final. It's a two-lap race at the Nürburgring-Nordschleife with our EX0. We will find out who will be the champion, and I think the best is to go on board to show you how it is with our 1000 horsepower beast, electric beast around this track. And that's why we go on board now. We're on start finish. I think on the Grand Prix track
so
I
we
can
have
talk
7
a bit
minutes
more
because it took quite a time for Mike to go around the Nordschleife.
Just a bit easier, let's say. Turn 1 very tight, and now we go straight into turn 2.
Games are still loading in the Nordschleife. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time.
And here we go downhill.
Okay, I cannot hear you because you would be on air.
Right-hander. Lean nicely on the exit curb. Now we go down to Dunlop. You can V-style this one. Maybe a bit too much here. Early on power up the hill towards Schumacher S. Nice left-right combination. Now we are braking for bit corner. Right-hander here, going downhill, and we can see already on the left-hand side, let's say part of the Nordschleife where the forest is. Last chicane here, and now we are heading onto the Nordschleife. Here we go, very bumpy on the braking, and you can see already the difference. Just a little bit of grass next to the line, and then you have the guardrails straight away, so you can imagine every mistake here usually ends up in tears. We are in HATZENBACH right now. Nice combination. We are heading towards FLUGPLATZ, very famous part of the track. Going uphill, you just see the sky in the car, and then up here, quick right-hander, heading towards Schwedenkreuz. We're doing 350 almost. This one is just flat, and then now we are going downhill into a compression. It's called Fuchsröhre. It's completely flat out, and then up again, quick left-hander, called ADENAUER FORST, I believe. And then now you have a little bit of a almost straightaway. Metzgesfeld 1, it's a quick left-hander, and 2, it's a bit more tight. Little crest here, nice banking, and then this one is tricky, left, right, and now we are in like a double or triple right actually. Braking for Wehrseifen. It's the slowest part of the track, slowest corner. Going towards Breitscheid. We're actually going over a bridge here, underneath is a normal road. Exmühle, up the hill, heading towards Niki Lauda corner, where he had his violent accident back in the day in Formula 1. Braking, Bergwerk. Now we go up the hill, all the way flat out. Can relax a bit, breathe a bit. Before, again, 340 we are doing here up the hill, before we go to Mutkurve. It's a quick left, and here's a very fast right. This is called KARUSSELL. It's like a roller coaster. A lot of banking, very bumpy. And now this is almost flat. This is the highest part, the highest altitude of the track. It's called Hohe Acht. And then we go down again to Wippermann. Can use a bit of curb here. Now we go to Brünchen. Here you have a lot of fans usually. During the 24 you can smell all the barbecue at night around the track in the car. This left-hander here it's very slippery usually. And again over a crest, and now we are heading towards Pflanzgarten 1. It's a jump actually, a little bit of a jump, and then Pflanzgarten 2. Again the car gets really light. Small mistake here. Should have been more on the left. Now we are at Galgenkopf. It's the last corner before we are on the very long straight called DÖTTINGER HÖHE. Now you can relax. Now you did almost the full lap. You can talk to your crew in the real car, give some feedback about the tires and everything, and yeah, like I said, just breathe, and we are going back towards the pit lane, let's say, or the pits and the Grand Prix track. Down here, Tiergarten, very quick flat out section, and then slowing down for this tight last chicane. And now we are back on start finish, and that was a lap here at the Nordschleife with our EX0. I hope you enjoyed it.
Very much did, Mike Rockenfeller. How do you remember all the corner names? This is the starting grid for level 1, the finale. Lasse Sörensen alongside is Martin Stefanko. Then we find on row 2 of the grid it's Risto Capit and Philippe Dennis. Luca Kita and Bruno Senna are on the 3rd row of the grid. For this level 1, the finale, the Nordschleife awaits, and what a circuit to await as we continue our look through the grid Of course, we must not forget about row 4, which contains the pro driver Nicholas Hillebrand. Everyone is about to go on perhaps the most famous circuit in the world. In this, the RCCO World EX Championship, and that is our pole sitter, Lasse Sörensen. So, does he know it as well as Mike Rockenfeller? I've had the privilege of being round the Nordschleife perhaps twice, and every time it just fills and fills and fills with adrenaline. It is such an extraordinary circuit.
Probably. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck. Good luck.
So the cars beginning to line up on the grid then. Lasse Sörensen, Martin Stefanko, Risto Capet, Philippe Dennis, Luca Kita, and Bruno Senna then, along with Nicholas Hillebrand. So this is the man that has been extraordinarily successful, Lasse Sörensen. And here we go then, 2 laps, as you can see every driver trying to get that inside line, and Martin Stefanko denied the inside line by Lasse Sörensen. Of course, we start the 2 laps on the Grand Prix circuit here at the Nürburgring before we can really stretch the legs of these EX0 cars on the Nordschleife, as illustrated by Mike Rockenfeller just a few seconds ago. It's all counted towards this. This is the final showdown. And Lasse Sörensen, who has shown so much dominance during the course of this season, this inaugural season of the brilliant Racing for the Climate RCCO World EX Championship, he is under pressure from Martin Stefanko. It's a long lap, and we have 2 of them. We are going to be on the Nordschleife. And you can see that P1 at the moment is with Lasse Sörensen, then it's P2, Martin Stefanko, Risto Capet, Luca Kita, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna, Nicholas Hillebrand. We all know that it's a very, very long lap, and therefore the race is, and the grand finale is not won in the first few meters. So into the chicane comes Lasse Sörensen, followed by this man that we're on board with now, Martin Stefanko. Now, instead of turning right, we turn left and enter the Nordschleife. Let's go for this then, as Lasse Sörensen drifts and drifts. And onto the Nordschleife we go. The bit that I find so fascinating is where the fans have made their mark on so much of this tarmac, so lovingly recreated in the RCCO World EX Championship, with Lasse Sörensen leading the way from Martin Stefanko, Risto Capet, Luca Kita, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna and Nicholas Hillebrand. So running downhill now and trying to hold on to these cars in the Eifel region of Germany, where this famed circuit but is a difficult one to tame and a difficult one to get the best out of. For the first time of asking, here comes Martin Stefanko on Lasse Sörensen, and Risto Capet's trying to have a go as well. Risto Capet also having to defend from Luca Kita. So we're on board with Martin Stefanko. The curbs are so high here. You have to be so careful. Take too much curb and you're going to be in all sorts of strife. It's an up and down through the Eifel region, that's for sure. The elevation changes are enormous. As Mike was saying on our inaugural lap, as he previewed this Nordschleife for us, some parts of this circuit are so high, and of course the spectators line the banks and love the action that they see. So where can Stefanko pull a move on Lasse Sörensen? Sörensen, for my money, looks really comfortable here. Of course, all these drivers just relishing the opportunity to be on the Nordschleife, and they're also evenly matched. Particularly the first 3 places, just 9/10 between them. In fact, it could be a 4-way fight for P1 at the moment, but Lasse Sörensen's got it all together, and at the moment he's leading Martin Stefanko by some 3/10, but that's down to 2/10 then as they round that turn. So into the left-hander here. And the thing is that here at the Nordschleife, it just winds its way through the region. And the closest I've got to competing on this is having 2 passenger rides around the Nordschleife and also staying in nearly every hotel that you can, where you get sight of the track. Also, this is Lasse Sörensen, who we get sight of now, and you can see just how hard he's concentrating ahead of Martin Stefanko P1 and Risto Capit P3 with Luca Kita P4. And Luca Kita really going for a move on Risto Capit behind that we could see. Meantime, we have to keep our eyes on this battle, because whatever Lasse Sörensen is doing here, he's not breaking away from Martin Stefanko. So Stefanko's doing a really good job of tracking him here. Now, has Martin Stefanko got a trick up his sleeve as to where it's going to be best for him to try and have a go and wrestle this lead away from Lasse Sörensen? KARUSSELL. It is so much of a roller coaster, this extraordinary Nordschleife, with so much heritage, so much history. And it's at this point where you're running uphill, and you can see how high those curbs are, and to keep off of those curbs, you've got to be millimetrically perfect with every input into the steering wheel. And you can see Lasse Sörensen's beginning to break away a bit now from Martin Stefanko. Risto Capit is P3, Luca Kita is P4. And I'm pretty sure alongside me is the master, Mike Rockenfeller, who took us on a lap of this fantastic Nordschleife circuit. And Mike, there must be certain areas where an overtake is possible on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the track is so narrow. The guys are all on a similar pace. I think, you know, Lasse tries to sneak away here before he hits, let's say, DÖTTINGER HÖHE. Now we're at Pflanzgarten 2. You can see the car gets light on the front. He really lifted Martin.
Yeah.
He almost took off, and now, yeah, you know, Lasse is very good. He made a gap. Still, you will see that Martin in the slipstream is getting close. So let's wait what happens here. It's still another lap to go, and they have to really manage their energy.
Good point, Mike Rockenfeller. Thank you so much. He's able to dip into our comms as well, and the voice of experience and the voice of so much success. DTM champion, Le Mans winner as well. DÖTTINGER HÖHE. That's where we expect the potential to come from Martin Stefanko. So we go on board with Lasse Sörensen, looking back from Lasse Sörensen, because Stefanko gets closer, gets out of the draft and gets alongside Lasse Sörensen. Now they go side by side and Stefanko is through. However, Lasse Sörensen now getting the advantage, coming back at Martin Stefanko. So, Lasse Sörensen then, maybe this is all part of the master plan. But at the moment it is Martin Stefanko that leads the way. The first lap is done. We're back onto the sprint circuit now. And the order is Martin Stefanko from Lasse Sörensen, Luca Kita, Risto Capit, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna. And then it is Nicholas Hillebrand. So Lasse Sörensen really trying to close in on Martin Stefanko. Now do bear in mind that, as Mike has indicated, that DÖTTINGER HÖHE straight as we round out the lap, and we've got only this one now to do. That is where you can really get the benefit of the slipstream. And of course, Lasse Sörensen is in P2. Well, assuming that he can get the rest of the Nordschleife right, and in fairness, his first lap was certainly right, he is going to be doing all he can to get that stream off the back of Martin Stefanko. Stefanko, what he wants to do is build a huge margin over Lasse Sörensen to, of course, prevent that. We're on board with Luca Kita then, running in P3. So we have an esports driver beating at the moment the pro driver Lasse Sörensen. Then in P3 it's Luca Kita. P4 is another esports racer, Risto Capit, ahead of Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna and Nicholas Hillebrand. So the cars make their way onto the Nordschleife again for the final time of asking in this, the RCCO World EX Championship, which has been an absolute blast. Whether you're a competitor, whether you're a race fan, or whether, like me, you are but a voice, it has been such a good program to be involved in. I've loved every moment of it. And Lasse Sörensen is some 6.5 tenths down on Martin Stefanko. Martin Stefanko is leading the way. You can see the concentration on Lasse Sörensen's face. He knows what he's got to do. He has been so dominant in this season of the World EX Championship. He wants to go out on the ultimate high, and the ultimate high is to take the Drivers' Championship title, of course, here at the Nordschleife. So Stefanko, though, it is that he's leading at the moment, and the TK9 E-Speed driver, TK9 E-Speed, bear in mind, are already champions in terms of teams. And Lasse Sörensen really reeling in Martin Stefanko now. The gap between them is down to 4/10, 3/10 now, as Lasse Sörensen uses everything that he's got here to try and find a way past Martin Stefanko. He's reeling him in, he's getting closer and closer. Stefanko is under pressure here. Well, we've still got an awful lot of the lap to do, and those very unforgiving high curbs here on the Nordschleife, as the top two have broken away a little bit from Luca Kita and Risto Capit. 3 of the top 4 places held by esports drivers on this RCCO World EX Championship finale. The Williams Esports driver Martin Stefanko leading the way. His teammate Bruno Senna in P5. Lasse Sörensen there, you can see. Brilliant camera shot, that is. The roller coaster of the Nordschleife playing out to full effect then. And the man that is taming it the best at the moment is Martin Stefanko. The vantage points there are for spectators around this Nordschleife, utterly legendary. And so too is the drive from these two drivers at the moment. Martin Stefanko doing a brilliant job. This is a superb onboard camera on the car of Lasse Sörensen, this hugely powerful EX0 machine. Around this right-hander, really holding on to it, perhaps the back end slipping out just a little bit, but beautifully controlled by Lasse Sörensen. But Martin Stefanko is making no mistakes. You get the impression that even though as much tarmac as there is around the Nordschleife, as Mike Rockefeller has indicated, it is narrow. And it is all going to come down to the final straight, which is one of the longest. And that, of course, is the DÖTTINGER HÖHE. But we're a long way from that at the moment. Martin Stefanko, he looks pretty cool, but Lasse Sörensen is getting closer. There is no question about that. Lasse Sörensen perhaps just biding his time here. And Martin Stefanko more than well aware of the fact as they rocket through the carousel. Is it going to be Mike Rockefeller all out on the DÖTTINGER HÖHE? I rather think it is.
Yes, I definitely think it is. You can see Lasse is sitting there and waiting. The question is Martin maybe let him go before the DÖTTINGER HÖHE and then try to get the slipstream? Let's see. I mean, again, now he's pulling away slightly, but I think Lasse is planning it, so it will be a very close one here.
I think you are absolutely right. Some strategy being played out here. So Martin Stefanko then running downhill now, and Lasse Sörensen just biding his time. But of course, if Martin Stefanko can get far enough up the road, he's got 1.2 seconds worth of margin now over Lasse Sörensen. It is Stefanko, Sörensen, Kita, Capet, Senna, Dennis, Hillebrand. So now, this man, Lasse Sörensen, really needs to take the hurry uphill and get on terms with Martin Stefanko, because the time is going to run out. So you can hear the excitement in the drivers then on the live team radio that we're able to bring you. Not a word from any of them. The reason not, because they're too darn busy concentrating on trying to get the best and the most out of this Nordschleife. So the Williams Esports racer that we're on board with right now has pulled out 1.2 seconds worth of margin over Lasse Sörensen. So Martin Stefanko doing a very good job here. Now this is it. This is the opportunity for Lasse Sörensen potentially. So we are on board with Martin Stefanko. Has he built enough of a margin to prevent Lasse Sörensen from coming back at him? I think he has. So Martin Stefanko, wily, wise racing drivers. There's a fight going on for P3 between Risto Capit and Luca Kita, and Risto Capit has got the better of Luca Kita. But Martin Stefanko has got but a few turns to do. Lasse Sörensen was not close enough when he needed to be. And that means as they head towards the line, Martin Stefanko wins. Look how delighted he is.
The tires are. Oh my god.
Oh, nice.
Yes!
Good job, Martin, the fastest guy on, I guess.
Woo! Let's go. Oh.
I think he's pretty pleased, you know. Well done, Martin Stefanko.
Martin, you get it, my friend.
Yes.
Awesome.
World champion.
Yes. Nice.
Woo. Oh. Yes.
You can see the inhales of breath. The Williams Esports driver has done it.
Slipstream kept it exciting.
It did that, that's for sure. Thank you, Risto. Martin Stefanko, P1, Lasse Sörensen, P2, Risto Capit, P3, Luca Kita, P4, Bruno Senna, P5, Philippe Dennis, P6, and Nicholas Hillebrand, P7. What a race, Nicky Shields!
Martin Stefanko, a huge congratulations for being our world champion, our first world champion. How does that feel? I mean, talk us through. Let's talk us through that moment when you passed Lasse Sörensen at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually thinking for a few seconds that I was not going to get slipstream because the gap before the long straight was over a second, but I managed to have an insane that kind of final corner before the long straight, and I just caught up to Lasse and just had a huge overspeed also with the slipstream and got him. And then I just knew that I need to get the gap over 1 second, and I just could not do it. No matter what I was doing, I just could not get over 1 second with that slipstream, how huge it is. I just could not get the gap over 1 second. But the last sector is very technical, and the whole season I was able to keep my tires in shape, but you can't really show it when the races are so short. So with this race being longer, basically like 12 minutes, I could really, show my advantage when it comes to tire wear and battery management. So that played a huge role in me creating a gap in the final sector, which was almost 1.5 seconds. And then it was just, not making a mistake and taking it home.
I mean, that was incredible that you managed to finish the race 1.5 seconds ahead of Lasse Sörensen. We're celebrating the first World EX World Champion, our Drivers' Champion, Martin Stefanko. The celebrations are going off at the moment. You're going to have a glass of champagne tonight. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I'm definitely going to celebrate. I just heard my mom shouting downstairs. So, we're for sure going to celebrate. Yeah. It's going to be a long night.
And I mean, it must mean a lot to the team as well, to the Williams Esports team that you've joined and you've been part of. I mean, what does this mean to them?
I'm pretty sure it means a lot. Basically, Williams Esports, they saved my career. I was about to retire because I had no time for practice and for racing anymore. And they saved me. I was able to start doing sim racing full time with them. And I've been together with them for over 1 year, and this is our first World Championship. So hopefully many more to come. And just incredibly happy. I was so confident in myself for this event. I'm usually not that confident. I'm usually like doubting myself in certain situations, but for this event, I was just so sure in myself that I'm gonna do it. I'm just so happy that it happened. And huge thanks to the team as well, and thanks to Bruno as well for being an amazing teammate, and the team has been amazing as well. Amazing support from them. I couldn't have asked for a better team, really. So I'm really glad that I can give this back to them for all the things that they've done for me.
Well, all of that hard work really paid off. Congratulations there to Martin Stefanko and, of course, Bruno Senna, who finished in P5. Let's have a quick catch-up with Lasse Sörensen, who has been the dominant force of this championship, no doubt. Lasse, what are your thoughts? Martin Stefanko there, just taking the win narrowly ahead of you.
Yeah, that's how it is. He was faster today, so I couldn't really. I really tried to keep keeping his slipstream for the whole lap, but that was like the last sector he did was amazing. So impossible for me to do anything there. But I'm still super happy for the whole TK9 Speed and the whole team and the whole being a part of this whole championship was amazing. And also in the first year, so I'm super happy for everyone and Martin really deserved this win today. I couldn't really do more. That was maximum for me, and he was just a better driver today.
Well, that's brilliant to see your support of his win. And of course, as you say, still a fantastic result for the team. You know, you're still bringing home 4 wins for the TK9 eSpeed team. And I'm sure Tom Kristensen is sitting at home celebrating somewhere, hopefully with a glass of champagne in his hand. So well done. Huge congratulations. And the fact that you enjoyed it so much, does that mean you're going to be back for another year?
Well, I have to speak with the boss, Tom. I mean, I'm probably gonna speak with him when he gets like 4 or 5 glasses of champagne. Then it's a bit easier. But yeah, hopefully next year I'll be back again. It's amazing championship, and it's fun to try something different compared to what you're used to. So and also playing a different game than what I'm used to. I've never done any racing in Air Factor beside Virtual Le Mans, and then joining a whole championship in Air Factor was quite a nice experience, to be fair. So hopefully more of this in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it's an interesting point. What about the format of the show? Have you enjoyed it? You know, the idea of having the title decider in just one race at the end, you know, a bit like you would in soccer or other sports. How have you found that?
I mean, it's great because you have, you know, all the excitement coming into the final race of the whole season. But I mean, in the situation I'm in right now, I wish it was just about the wins in the championship. But that's how it is, man. That's how it is, a part of the game.
Yeah, well, you've been an absolutely brilliant competitor throughout, always playing by the rules, a very good driver indeed. So it's been brilliant to have you part of it. Thank you very, very much. Lasse Sörensen there, today's runner-up. So for one last time, these are the final driver standings. It's Martin Stefanko for Williams Esports who takes the win, the championship title for the World EX Driver Championship. Lasse Sörensen is the runner-up, and a very well-deserved runner-up indeed. Risto Capet, Philip Dennis, Luca Kita, Bruno Senna make up the top 6. Then coming in at P7, it's Nicholas Hillebrand, Alan Terzic, P8, P9, Mickey Hoyer, and P10, Gordon Mutch. So there you have it. That is how the team standings looks at the end of the 10 rounds. In P1, it is Tom Kristensen's team, the TK9 eSpeed team, with Williams Esports there as the runners-up in P2. Biella Racing Team Euronics, BS Plus Competition in P4, R8G Esports in P5, followed by Absolute Racing, Esports Team WRT, Nianco Esports, and finally in P9, Patrick Long Esports. So, can't believe it. Mike, Dave, this is it, guys. This is the end. Did you see that coming? I mean, it was a very, very exciting race. I genuinely thought Lasse Sörensen was just going to run away with it. You know, no one could take him in the sort of the first 2/3 of that lap. But how wrong was I? Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. I thought he has it all under control. You know, I knew Martin is extremely good on this track. So yeah, Lasse said it. You know, at the end he won most of the races, but he didn't win the championship. We have a kind of different format, and I think it's really cool. I think we have seen also, like in real life, how important the track is, because for sure on the short one we saw rather boring races here and there. And then you go on the Nordschleife, and the car looks so fast and so dynamic and really cool. And for me, the Nordschleife was really a highlight. Congrats to all of the drivers which participated in our championship. I think we learned a lot, and I enjoyed it a lot. And we will work hard to make sure next year is even better. I'm very proud of all the people in the background working on it, and also the teams joining us, the drivers, you know, to be with us, to build this together. I think is a very cool journey. And yeah, like I said, Nordschleife was a highlight, and for sure the oval was very cool as well. So I'm very excited, and I think Martin is a well-deserved winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. You know, you really could see the sort of the 1,000 brake horsepower of the EX0 car just looking so great at the track today. You know, it looked so fast. I don't know how the drivers were wrestling with the car at such high speed. But let's have a quick final word from Dave, the wonderful voice of the World EX Championship. Dave, what did you make of that grand finale?
Well, it delivered everything I expected it to, except I was with Mike, and I thought Lasse Sörensen had got it all under control. And I'll tell you what it does do, it just provides absolute confirmation that just when we think the fat lady is going to sing, she doesn't. Because, you know, to take nothing away from Martin, what a fantastic job. But the whole series has been phenomenal. And of course, to really buy into the World EX Championship and its aims and its targets and what it has done, and bear in mind the huge contribution to the climate that this is making. My hat is off to the likes of Mike Rockenfeller and for Thomas as well for creating such a fantastic series, which I've been very proud to be a part of. And what the heck am I going to do on Tuesday nights now? Because I don't like dominoes.
You'll just have to start another Netflix series. I've got a few I can recommend. But no, Dave, couldn't agree with you more. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of the original, the first time that the World EX Championship has run, and we're looking forward to seeing where obviously the money that has been raised that Martin Stefanko will pledge to his charity goes towards. So for one final time, do you want to say a final word, Mike, before I say our goodbyes?
Well, like I said, I hope to see all of you next year. I think what we also need to maybe say now, we need some more sponsorship. We need some more partners on board, because I think we are doing a great project, and this is for a good cause. Like you just said, Martin now has quite some budget to spend on a really nice project. Hopefully, the one he choose. And I think that's cool. You know, that's unique. I don't think there's any other championship raising that much money for a good cause, for a climate project. So I'm very proud.
Absolutely. And, you know, getting to know the cities that we've raced in and the zero facts. And it really has been not just about the esports, but about the battle that we're all in together to fight climate change. So a huge thank you for one last time to all of our drivers, to everyone who's competed, obviously to Dave Richardson, to Mike Rockenfeller, and to the incredible team behind the scenes who have been working so hard to pull this all together. And we are very, very excited to see you again in 2022. So for one last time, goodbye from me and the rest of the team. Take care.
Bye-bye.